Hey guys, I just wanted to take a second and talk about chapter 9. So, chapter 9, everything's getting real, guys. So, chapter 9 is very intense. Chapter 9, we see total chaos and savagery taking over. So the beginning of chapter 9, we see Simon. Simon has just had his encounter with the Lord of the Flies, which is the sow's head on a stick. And Simon has kind of woken up from this haze. He's kind of stumbling through the woods. And what he stumbles upon is the dead parachutist. And he sees what it is. He sees that it's not a beast. He sees the boys have been afraid of nothing. He realizes that it's just a dead person's body attached to a parachute. And he sees the corpse and he vomits, and he makes it his goal to go tell everyone else what's going on. So during this time, we have Ralph and Piggy who have decided to try to go to Jack's feast. So Jack is holding this feast, and Ralph and Piggy bathe, and then they head up to see Jack's group. And Jack is now once again just kind of this, almost like an idol to the other boys. He's sitting in his chair. The other boys have kind of laid drinks and fruit around his feet. And Jack is kind of commanding the other savages and telling them what to do. And so Ralph and Piggy come up, and he commands the savages to take them some meat. And he's like, has everyone eaten as much as they wanted? So basically it's I'm Jack, I'm sitting here on this throne, and I am providing all of these things to you. And then he asked the boys to join his tribe. And Ralph and Piggy continue to resist. Who'll join my tribe and have fun? That's page 150. Ralph insists that he's the chief. And what about fire? And I have the conch. And basically around that time, it starts to rain. And Ralph says, I'm going to be a storm and you'll have rain. Like when we dropped here. Who's clever now? Where are your shelters? What are you going to do about that? And so basically Jack, in this last minute kind of decision, suggests that him and his savages, they are going to dance through the rain. Do our dance. Come on, dance. And so they begin to do their dance, and a circling movement developed into a chant while Roger mimed the terror of the pig. The Lutlands ran and jumped on the outside of the circle. This is beginning on page 152. Ralph and Piggy, under the threat of the sky, found themselves eager to take a place in the demented but party-secure society. They were glad to touch the brown backs of the fence that hemmed in the terror and made it governable. Kill the beast, cut its throat, spill its blood. And so basically this just continues, and they're continuing to dance, and it's just getting more intense and more intense. And then the circle became a horseshoe. A thing was crawling out of the forest. It was dark. It came darkly, uncertainly. The shrill screaming that rose from the beast was like a pain. The beast stumbled into the horseshoe. And so what we see here, that's Simon. They're saying that this is a beast, and they're going to dance around it, and they're going to harm the beast. But it's Simon. Kill the beast, cut its throat, spill its blood. The blue-white scar was consistent. The noise unendurable. Simon was screaming out something about a dead man on a hill. And this is going to continue to be more intense and more intense, and basically Simon is going to die in this situation. The boys are going to kill him. And then at the end of this, as this is calming down, now a great wind blew the rain sideways, cascading the water from the forest trees. On the mountaintop, the parachute filled and moved, and the figure slid, rose to its feet, spun, swayed down through a vastness of wet air, and trod with ungainly feet the tops of the high trees, falling, still falling. It sank through the beach, and the boys rushed screaming into the darkness. The parachute took the figure forward, fearing the lagoon, and bumped it over the reef and out to the sea. So at the end of this storm, as this is calming down, they actually see the parachutist. They see the figure attached to the parachutist, and it's blown out into the sea. And then this chapter ends, and I'll read the last paragraph. Somewhere over the darkened curve of the world, the sun and the moon were pulling, and the film of the water on the earth planet was held budging slightly on one side while the solid core turned. The great wave of the tide moved further along the island, and the water lifted softly, surrounding a fringe of inquisitive, bright creatures, itself a silver shape beside the steadfast constellations. Simon's dead body moved out towards the open sea. And so basically this chapter ends with Simon, and we see that he's dead. And the boys know what they did. They realize that it's Simon, but they're not going to speak of this. They are going to continue to argue that this is the beast, or at least Jack is going to force the boys to continue to think that this is still the beast. And once again, the boys have killed the inner savagery, the inner beast within the boys themselves have killed, they've harmed, and they've harmed the boy on the island that represented good. And so that's chapter 9, and we'll be back with you guys next week for chapter 10. Please do not hesitate to contact me or email me with any questions. Thank you guys, and I hope you guys are doing well. Bye.